Hello, Internet. That was the start we wanted.
No.
Welcome to the
Hi,
Sprocket. Yeah, welcome to the Sprocket
That's
Docket.
okay. He's going last anyway.
We have to say, like, everybody be quiet, and then I will announce once we get live, and then Robert stands up right in the middle of it going live. What a way to start this episode. We're off to such a great freaking start. All right. Yes, hello. Welcome to the Sprocket Docket for February 12th, 2015. My name is Derek.
Hi, I'm Allie.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
I'm Robert. Hello.
Hello.
Robert the Bruce.
So, yeah. This is the first one we've done here in about a month. It's been kind of crazy lately for a lot of us locally. But we're hopefully going to get back on schedule again. Kind of about every other week. And, yeah. Lots of docket love to come. So, we're going to start tonight off. We're going to talk about a few Dirty Sprocket happenings before we get talking about our topic tonight. Probably one of our biggest things happening right now is, as of Wednesday, we've begun our partnership with the podcast Millennials. We Want It Now. Great group of people out of Nebraska. They've done 8 episodes already. You can see them all on our site now. If you go into the blog, I'll probably put a link here on this video as well of where to get to their podcasts. They've been going for a couple of months now, their podcasts, but they're new to us. So we're very, very excited. Go check them out. Great group of people, really, really interesting podcast. They talk about a lot of different things, pop culture, politics, all over the place. Jerry, kind of the main guy there, was going to be on the docket tonight, but he had some stuff come up and wasn't able to. But hopefully here in the near future, we'll get Jerry on a docket. Yeah, so it's I'm very excited. This is a first for Dirty Sprocket, where we're kind of hosting content that none of us locally created. But that makes me very excited. I want more of that kind of stuff. Kind of shows Dirty Sprocket we're growing. Yeah. So definitely, if you get a chance, go check them out. I've been listening to them, really enjoyed the podcast. It's kind of cool too. Because Jerry went back through all of his old ones from before we started our partnership, and he added a Dirty Sprocket podcast in front of it. I
heard that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was kind of neat. It's like, oh man, we're a thing.
We need a visual graphic for Dirty Sprocket.
For the docket?
Yeah. Well, for all the stuff that we produce, we just need.
Yes. Definitely. That kind of goes hand in hand. We actually have a few other. We haven't talked about this for a while, but we do have a couple of podcasts coming down the pipe. I think our movie podcast has finally taken shape. I've been talking with a few people that's hopefully coming soon. Got a couple ideas for some episodes and kind of what it's going to be. So check it out. I don't want to say too much just in case it kind of changes slightly. But we do have a movie one. Robert is still hard at work at a music podcast.
I got like 3 things going on right now. The music podcast kind of got pushed to the side, partially because holidays, partially because Dan went to Vegas for his radio awards thing. So
what a jerk! Go accept an award.
No, Allie's gonna get on this. We're gonna be a threesome.
I like music.
As evidenced by all of Allie's stuff that she's talked about recently on the docket and such.
Anybody check out that new Fall Out Boy album? Because it feels like summer. Or sounds like summer, I guess.
That was about the cheesiest intro I've ever seen to something, but that was kind of awesome.
No, seriously though, it's like it's just one of those albums that you're like, I gotta listen to this when it's warm outside with all my windows down, because it feels like summer to listen to it.
Felt like you were somebody from the 1920s trying to sell snake oil. Come on, fellas! It feels like summertime! So.
I've been accused of being cheesy in my life.
Never. All right. So yeah, so that's exciting, very, very exciting. Other Dirty Sprocket news. In January, we shot a short horror film. Robert even did a blog post about it, kind of some behind-the-scenes stuff. I am a director of high school theater, and I just finished up with our one-act competition I had. That kind of ate my month of January. So I haven't really been able to do a lot of editing, but last weekend I started in earnest, and it's getting close. So we'll have that soon, and that's actually going to be part of a series of short horror films. It'll all be kind of somewhat connected. It's called Unknown Caller, and Allie stars in it. Again, that's all of the Dirty Sprocket shorts so far, all terrorizing Allie. So.
But I'm learning how to work a camera because my video production class is amazing. So maybe I'll be behind it next time.
There you go, awesome. Because that's great, because that's a great lead-in to, because the idea with our short horror film series, we don't have a name for it yet, but the idea is it's going to have different writers and different directors for different short films. So this was my contribution. This was the one I directed, but we've got several ideas in the works for the next one. So yeah, excited for that one. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Been learning as we go. We learned a lot doing Friend, and learned a lot doing this one. So excited to start the next one. Hopefully again sooner rather than later. But yeah, so stuff coming for Dirty Sprocket. We're always busy. Got some new bloggers on the way. A couple of people have contacted me, so we'll be seeing a few more new faces on the site, which is always cool. Yeah, and keep an eye out too. We actually have a site redesign coming.
Ooh, nice.
Yes, we're completely redesigning the site. Kind of the way it displays and the focus of the site itself. I'm very excited. I'm kind of finishing up the design work on it now. I was actually doing that before we started tonight. So that will hopefully be in the next month or so. You'll be seeing that. I think it'll be good. It'll be easier for you, the viewer, to find the stuff you're looking for, which is a-okay. Allie, you look really confused.
My computer was just like, hey, here's the thing. What are you doing? Stop. I don't know what's happening. Okay, we're good. It went by.
Okay. All right. So Allie is terrified by her computer. We're off to a good start. This is a good episode.
Could be another horror film. Technology alive.
Yeah, this is why you don't buy new things.
Speaking of, have you guys seen the trailer for that new horror movie called Unfriended that takes place over Skype? The entire horror movie.
No.
It looks terrible. It looks real bad. So, but kind of an interesting way of doing it. So, yeah. So exciting stuff. Now, this isn't directly Dirty Sprocket, but a lot of people, several Sprocketeers were involved, and some friends we have. Magic Time Films, located out of the Black Hills as well, they recently released their web series, Larry and the Monsters, which Sarah stars in.
Yeah! It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I'm getting used to seeing myself, like, it's still really weird, especially being really pregnant. It's like, oh my gosh, wow, I look interesting. But it's really cool. It's really cool to see you.
Yeah, so we've been sharing it on our Facebook page, so check that out. It's really great. Robert and I were able to attend the premiere that Sarah was at for it. They premiered it here locally, so go check it out. It's a lot of fun. Do you want to give a brief kind of synopsis of the show, Sarah?
I can give a one-line sentence. It's about a guy named Larry who pissed off a gypsy and got cursed with a bunch of monsters that live with him now, and they're just wreaking havoc on his life. And I play his sister. That's the encouraging, quirky, plucky, and I'm terrible at baking support. That's fun.
Anne, who was in our short horror film in January, and she's blogged with us now. She's in that, plays Miss Rapper, not Miss Raper. There's an ongoing joke there. And even Chris Monroe, our good friend Chris Monroe, is in it. He did some behind-the-scenes work there, and he's in a couple of scenes he got in front of the camera. So, yeah. Get a chance to check it out.
No, we got to see the whole season. Is that right? I mean, that's what we saw.
Yes, we were able to see. They premiered
we're
the
better
whole
than you
thing. Yeah, I know how it ends, and you don't, Internet.
we get spoilers. It was really good.
Well, it's how you get
enjoyed
viewers, Robert.
What's that?
I said insulting people. That's how you get viewers, right?
Yes. Everybody knows that when people hate you, they're more apt to watch more often and longer. That's Howard Stern. That's how he got famous.
Well, Robert's proven on the site, our most viewed post probably in the last 6 months was Robert's hating on Too Many Cooks.
God, that was awful.
So that is our formula now.
I think we can actually thank Allie for that, can't we?
Yes, yes. The big joke that's in it is Allie's joke.
I stole that bigger than shit, too.
So, yeah, that's our formula, is get Robert to hate something and then have him write about it, and then we seem to do pretty good numbers. So, more of that, Robert.
That's kind of how that went down. Y'all dared me to do that. Blog it! Yes. Blog it!
Yes! That's what I tell everybody. I'm sure everybody's getting sick of me hearing about it, but people are like, oh, I had this thing, and I'm like, blog about it! Write a post.
I'm thinking I'm going to have to like widen the variety of things that I write about because I'm running out of topics.
Excuse me. Variety is good. Seems something that you could talk a lot about and then just break it up into small sections. Like Julia's, if you haven't checked out, Julia on her site has been doing a breakdown of Serial, the podcast. And
good podcast.
She's on her third post about it. So she's got one more to go. Very, very interesting. So
That's
yes.
kind of nice, too.
Yeah, the guy that it's about just is getting an appeal.
Yeah.
So that just came out. That's kind of interesting.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's getting an appeal. So probably he's going to get another trial.
That's good timing on Julie's part.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not going to say it was because of the podcast, but yeah, it was because of the podcast. They got a lot of pressure on the people, you know. I'm sure there was a lot of pressure.
But the thing about that too is they got the whatchamacallit guys, the
Innocence Project?
The Innocence Project guys, and there was some help there, so.
Yeah.
Except for they focused on DNA, though. I wonder if, because there wasn't any DNA, was there? Or was there?
They focused on death row. I don't know. I don't know a lot of the kind of that other stuff about it, but yeah, he is getting he's been granted appeal. I mean, that doesn't mean he's going to be let go or anything like that, but it is kind of interesting how that podcast is kind of the reason why he's getting an appeal. Again, I'm sure the DA is never going to admit, or judges are never going to admit that that's why, but nobody cared about his story until Serial came out, you know. So fascinating time.
Well, that's kind of how the West Memphis 3 story went down. Is nobody gave a shit until finally somebody did, and then they just sort of snowballed, and you know. One HBO documentary turned into 3 HBO documentaries. It's turned into a feature film.
Which is apparently terrible.
I haven't seen it.
That was this past year. The Devil's Knot is what it's called. Apparently really, 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 really bad. So, yeah. So here, before we get started, we're just going to talk a little bit about stuff we're enjoying just in general lately. I've got to say, I finally watched Fargo. The first season of Fargo recently. I bought it on DVD, and I wish I would have seen it a long time ago because it's freaking amazing. I think if I had seen it, it would have been maybe at the top of my 2014 list from before because it was really, really fantastic. If you haven't seen it yet, watch it. It is great. And it is one season story. They are going to do a second season, but it's not the same story. It's going to be a whole other story. So, no. Great TV show. And speaking of lawyers and all that kind of stuff, I watched the first 2 episodes of Better Call Saul. The Breaking Bad spinoff. It is fantastic. It was really, really enjoyable. I wasn't quite sure. You know, sometimes those spinoffs aren't very good, but no, I mean, it feels like Breaking Bad, just that it's extremely well shot and well written, and you know, just very, very good. And Bob Odenkirk is fantastic. He's also in Fargo, so I'm at a Bob Odenkirk kick right now.
I have never seen a full episode of Breaking Bad.
Me neither.
What's wrong with you guys?
Or The Walking Dead. I saw part of one, but I've not seen a whole episode of The Walking Dead.
No, that's not either.
I like Walking Dead a lot, but
I saw the first episode of Vikings recently. That's pretty good. I'm gonna try to keep watching it when my kids are asleep.
Maybe not good for your little one.
Yeah, no, probably not.
No, what I've been watching that is so not child appropriate is Californication.
Are you watching that on Hulu or Netflix?
Netflix.
Ah, it's on there.
That is a surprisingly good show. Like, there's a lot of deep shit going on there if you think about it.
You get past
a
the
little
boobs.
bit. There's a lot of that. There's too much of that. There's way too much of that stuff. And not just the boobs, like there's some really gross humorous stuff going on in that show, but yeah, there's some deep things going on there too that I kind of really get a kick out of.
You know you're just watching it for the boobs. We know.
I started watching it for the boobs, but I'm telling you,
The internet knows.
because that gets old fast. Because
Just keep talking. Just keep
You're
talking,
being
Robert.
recorded.
It's
You're
all good. Your mom watches this podcast.
my mom doesn't watch.
I don't know,
this
does she?
podcast. My
Tell your
mom
mom to
didn't
watch.
know it.
Tell your mom to watch this podcast.
I did tell her like 40 times. She don't
Yeah.
watch this. She don't understand. She don't.
Robert's mom,
You better hope she doesn't watch it now.
watch the podcast.
What's she gonna do?
Fantastic.
She's 5'0". She can't do nothing to me.
Hey, just because we're
Plus-
small doesn't mean we're not fierce.
We're mighty mice.
Not compared to short people
doesn't
who
mean-
can pop out of
Now you
small
know.
places and just kick you in the shin. Okay.
Step out of small places and get stepped on too. That happens all the
No,
time.
all of us short little midgets, we're all gonna gang up on you. You just watch out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see who's laughing then.
Midgets are
Mhm.
evil.
I will be at Robert. So, yeah.
How to describe things you like to pick on me? This is not cool.
Because that's how every podcast goes.
I'm a
Yeah.
veteran, and I don't
We
have
all
to
know what the
plus
internet
I'm an
wants,
artist.
Robert. You insult them. I said, we know what the internet wants. You insult them, and then we insult you, and then they feel like we're on their side, and they continue to watch our podcast.
So we build our rapport with the audience.
Mhm.
Yes.
Nobody likes
You have to give the people what they want.
So,
Did you guys? My birthday's next month. Did you guys get my invites for my birthday party? No, you didn't.
I want to imagine that you did mail out invites to people.
I did get one
Did
actually,
you,
and I threw it
Robert?
away.
That's kind of creepy.
Oh, that's cold. Scott was like, nope.
I'm like, I don't like that of y'all. Don't like me.
All right. Anything else that anybody wants to talk about? Exciting stuff they're watching or doing right now before we get into the topic?
I've been watching Arrow, and I love it.
That's good.
I just binge watched the first 2 seasons,
Mm.
and now I'm sad because what do I do with my life?
Oh,
Then I watched Gallivant. I watched the rest of it on Hulu.
I was gonna watch that. I
I've
haven't
been
yet.
meaning to watch Gallivant.
I love Gallivant because I watched the first 2 episodes when I was home when it aired on TV, and then I was like, well, now I have to wait. So then I waited, and then I watched it, and I was like, this is beautiful, but there's only 8 episodes, and they're only like 20 minutes long. So
Is it on
Andre-
Hulu? I need to find
Yes.
it.
it's on Hulu.
It is. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's on my list of stuff to watch because that looks like a lot.
I can't wait until the movie Cinderella comes out. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
I know that's not anything we're watching now, but I am like a Cinderella. Like, that was my favorite movie growing up. I love them all. Ever After and this one. Guess
You
who's
think they'll do a good job with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Because
I
there's
watched-
like 40 million Cinderella movies, and they're all pretty much forgettable.
Well, I
But this
actually
was-
watched the new trailer that they put out, I think, yesterday, and it looks like it's going to have a few different twists to it. That's
And
going to be awesome.
it is Kenneth Branagh, isn't it? I believe is directing it.
I don't know.
Let me see. I have the entry. Yes. Yep. It is Kenneth Branagh directing it. He does a good job. I think
Yeah,
that could be
it's
very
awesome.
interesting. Cinderella. So can you sing all the songs from Cinderella?
Do you want me to? But no, I can't really actually.
Did you ever
You know
watch?
what, I would do it, but she can sing it.
Did you
Are
ever
you a
watch?
singer?
What?
Are you a singer? Do you sing?
Yes, but not right now because I'm sick.
Oh.
Um, but did you ever watch the Rodgers and Hammerstein version? That was my jam growing up. I was all about that.
No.
I don't know like all the different versions, but I've watched several. Like even like the silly ones with her last name's Huff, I think. I can't remember. There's just a whole bunch of. What is it?
Cinderella story,
Maybe.
where
I
it's
don't
like
know.
the football player and it's
Yeah. I didn't like that one
yeah.
as much. But I've seen a bunch of them though.
I love cheesy movies. Like,
I know. They're fun.
I mean, you just have to take them for what they're worth and just enjoy them. You know what I mean?
And yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I liked it probably. I don't know. I'd have to go back and rewatch it. But it wasn't one that I watched continuously. Like, ever after, I can probably quote that whole movie.
It's a good one.
My husband hates it. He wishes
So-
I'd.
Prince Charming in the new Cinderella is Rob Stark from Game of Thrones.
He's good. I like
Does
him.
nobody care? I was like, hey, he's probably gonna die. Cinderella. Spoilers for Game of Thrones from like 3 years ago.
Dang it! Ah,
What the hell was that?
I haven't
was
watched
it?
Game of Thrones yet.
I feel like if you haven't started Game of Thrones at this point, though,
Okay, well, yeah, that's the thing is I feel like it's just this huge undertaking. I'm like, I don't know if I can commit. I don't know if I can do it.
you can. When I bought the first season, I just bought it because it was cheap at Walmart on DVD, and I was like, I don't know. And I watched 10 episodes, an hour each, and I just sat down and watched all of it. And then I bought the second season, and then I sat down and just watched all of it. And since then, I've been watching it on HBO as it comes up because it is amazing.
Maybe someday. I'm sure someday I will. But it's like I know that everybody dies already.
It's a show that hates you, you know. It does not want you to be happy ever.
Yeah, do not fall in love with any particular character because she's gonna die or she.
I kind of like stories that do that though because like just I don't know, if you're gonna fight a war or whatever like your big adventure is in your novel or your movie or whatever, someone's gonna die. You're not all gonna get out of it okay.
Yes.
You know, it's not like this world where only the bad guys die.
They used to do that though for the longest time. That's how television went down. It was like you had this core cast of characters that always made it through.
Always.
And then you had a bad guy of the week, and every once in a while they'd bring in somebody who was unimportant, and they would get killed off. But now it's kind of been a swing to be a little bit more unpredictable.
Mhm.
Like I remember the first
love
time
that.
I seen that happen on network television was like the second season of was it CSI, and they killed off the lead. One of the lead female, I forget her name, but the lead female just shot her right in the head. Just
Jeez.
primetime television, I was stunned.
Never watched CSI.
If you've seen one episode, you've seen them all.
That's a lot of those shows. All right. I think with that, we're going to get into our topic tonight. Finally, half an hour in. What we're talking about tonight is we're talking about dream projects, stuff we've always wanted to do. Now, the caveat I put on our dream projects is they had to be at least somewhat realistic. It's not necessarily saying you're ever going to do these things, but the dream project can't be, I want to be the King of England. Because it's not really a project. But, yeah, so the idea was kind of keeping it in, you know, something that's actually kind of reasonable. And I'm going to go ahead and start. I've got a couple, but I'll start with one of them, and then we'll kind of go around and have everybody talk about theirs. One project, this is a project that I've been kind of working on for a couple of years now, is a horror graphic novel that I've been working on with Matt Pittman, one of our Sprocketeers. We've come up with multiple different concepts, and we'll kind of start working on it, and then we kind of abandon it, come up with a new idea, and then kind of abandon it. And I think we finally got a good idea now, but I just haven't really gone anywhere with it. And I really want to. I'd love to self-publish and actually complete a graphic novel. Growing up, I was a cartoonist. That's even what I went to school for, was to be an animator. I love to draw, and I don't get to do it quite as much as I'd like to, or have as much time anymore to do it. But that's something I'd love to do. When I was in high school, I actually made a comic book with my dad. Self-published and everything. I still have like 2 boxes full of them somewhere, of my really terrible comic that I made when I was a senior in high school. But it was a lot of fun. I loved doing it, and I love having years of experience now to do something like that again. So who knows? Maybe, hopefully someday, on the Jerry Sprocket site, you'll be able to purchase our graphic novel. Someday. But so that's one of my starting ones. But let's talk to you guys. Who has something that just like, man, so I'd love someday to be able to get the opportunity to do that.
Allie?
Allie, raising your hand.
This has been in school for too long.
I really have.
She was thinking up there too. She's being all bashful.
Okay, anyway, so growing up, there were these books. I can't remember when I started reading them. Probably like late middle school. I don't know. There's just 6 of them, and actually, they've been out for a while. And there's gonna be another one coming out in 2016. I guess she just was like, why not? One more. And they're called the Mediator series, and they're just the main character. Her name is Susanna Simon, and I love her. Like, everything about her. She is just such a bamf, and she's just like this super cool, amazing like character that I've always loved. And one of my dream roles or projects ever would be to be able to bring her to life if there was ever some sort of movie or TV show made based off the books, which is a common thing. So I feel like it's justified in saying it's possible. So that is something I've wanted to do since I was like 14, because I love this character, and yeah, the books are just really great for young girls because she's so fierce and confident, and I think she's a good character for young girls to identify with, and she's just fun. So that would be one of my biggest dreams, would be to play her.
Cool.
Like in a movie or like a TV show or what?
Yeah. If they turned the books into either like a series or a movie or something ever, and if there was any way in the world, like I even had a slight chance of playing her, I would run at it face first.
Just face first.
I know. Just going at it with my whole face.
No, that's awesome. That's very cool. So someday we might see Allie on the big screen in the Mediator Chronicles. Just have to remember all of us lowly people.
Okay.
When
You
you're a
guys
big
can still
star.
come to my birthday.
Aw. But not Robert's, because we're not invited.
And not Robert. You have to invite me to yours.
So Robert, I think, what is yours, since we're talking about you?
I'd like to write a novel someday. I've always got ideas floating around in my head when I'm at work doing crap, because I think about everything else but work. But I think it'd be cool to write a novel, to invent a character and kind of explore that type of thing with stories and story arcs. And
What kind of novel would you like to write, Robert?
probably be it would probably be a sci-fi type thing. Those are the things that float around in my head most of the time, are sci-fi ideas with like guys with special abilities, powers, that kind of thing, psychic type stuff. How that could go terribly awry.
Cool. Have you ever written anything down?
I've written lots of stuff down. I never get very far. I got a I started writing a play a long time ago that I keep meaning to finish, but I never seem to get to it. I'm writing a backstory for another podcast project that we're working towards later on. So I got lots of stuff that I write down. It's just I get distracted or intimidated. Or the problem is it's hard to sit down and write and let yourself suck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's usually what happens with the first round. Is it's just not good. You know, and writing stuff that's not that great for that long is kind of.
Well, I'm gonna take off that real quick because I don't have any like big dreams specific like what has been mentioned, but I wouldn't mind collaborating with writing because I like the idea of writing, but I've never really written anything down either. But I feel like I could contribute, and I think I have lots of good ideas at least to consider. And as far as other dreams, I like acting. I really enjoy it. I've been doing it for a long time, but stage is terrifying, and I've decided I like film much better. So I would like to expand my film acting. So I'm sorry, Robert. Did I cut you off?
No.
Oh, you know what? I don't care. I'm just kidding. No, I hope I didn't.
We're being terrible to Robert tonight.
I'm just kidding, though. I hope I didn't. I'm sorry.
Can I expand upon that as well?
Sure.
Okay.
Which part? The picking on me part? Because no. No, the answer is absolutely not. You just be quiet.
No, expanding on the whole writing thing.
Oh, yes. Proceed then.
That's actually another one of my big ones. Is I have like 4 unfinished novels, and then I have one that is actually finished. Like, I wrote it my junior year of high school. I took creative writing for a semester, and then the second semester I took it as an independent study because I got halfway done. So it's written to the end, but I've never actually gone through and 100% edited it even once because I just life, man. So there are parts of it every now and then I'll go back and read, and I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty good. And then other parts I'm like, and then just things like that. Like I really love the characters that I created, and I think the story was kind of interesting. So yeah, I would want to finish that. And I have one that I started writing my sophomore year of high school that only got a couple pages in, and I have one that I've been writing in my head for like a year, but I've never actually, every time I think of an idea, I write it down, but I've never actually connected everything. So yeah, another big project of mine would be to actually finish and publish a novel.
What's great is, honestly, a lot of this stuff we're talking about, as crazy as it seems, it's like these aren't that crazy of dreams, like anymore, especially with just so much technology we have. You can self-publish a book. It's not quite like it used to be. You don't have to go through an editor and get a big run. You could self-publish yourself, or heck, even anymore through Amazon, there's amateur sections where you can download digital copies of people's books and buy them. People make a lot of money that way, which is kind of crazy, but it's kind of interesting to see that some of that stuff's possible where it didn't used to be. Maybe even 15 years ago wasn't as much a possibility as it is today. I think one of the most important things I ever had a teacher tell me in a writing class was,
zip your fly.
Well, yeah. But I wasn't ever wearing pants, so it wasn't good advice.
No.
But anyway, yeah, you said you just got to finish. That's the most important thing. Whenever you're doing anything, is you got to get to the end, even if it sucks. It doesn't matter your first go through. You got to get to the end, and you're gonna have a lot of shitty stuff. But that's where revisions come in. But yeah, I think that was always. Myself and I fall into that trap too. I've got probably 20 different screenplays on my computer, and probably only 6 or 7 of them are finished. But even they need work. But it gets hard. You kind of get sidetracked, and then you just want to keep going back over the same material over and over again. I've got a script that's like that where I never get to the end. I just go back and I change things, and that's why it's not done, is because I keep doing that instead of getting to the end. So, but I think that's interesting, what you guys are talking about. It's possible. Have you guys ever heard of the National Novel Writing Month, which is November?
Yep.
I thought that was October.
Is it October? Could be.
I think it was October.
It's November.
You don't know you're short.
Because same year I wrote this novel.
You got
When we were headed to state Oral and Terp, or was it region? I don't know. We were doing some state trip, and it had to be Oral and Terp because Mrs. Rolla was there, and she was working on her novel in the car. So it was Novel November.
Mm-hmm.
I googled it. It is November.
Ha! Suck it, Robert.
I said November like 4 times, and nobody would listen to me.
October.
One of my coworkers has finished a couple of times. Monty, actually, one of our Sprocketeers, he finished one year. I started 1 year and I didn't get done because I am also very bad about finishing things. But I think what's great about that kind of stuff, though, is it helps you finish. It's kind of like you have a timeline, which I think is super important with a lot of stuff. If you never give yourself a timeline, then it's hard to ever finish because you're like, oh, I can put it off. But if you kind of give yourself, it's got to be done by this date, you'll get it done. You'll find a way to kind of get it done. But
yeah, with me right now, it's just the time commitment because there's so many other things I have to get done first because they're due tomorrow.
Sure. Oh yeah, that's always the hard thing of whenever you want to work on some of these things. It's always finding time.
I mean, that's kind of true with life. It's like anything that doesn't have to be done, it's too easy to put off. Like, she's talking about school, and you're talking about work. I'm a mom. It's like, I don't have time to do anything. So you just have to, I mean, I've never read anything, so I can't talk about not finishing it, but it's hard.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the number one thing that happens to people. I mean, there's so many people out there who have screenplays or novels that they've started. Tons of the population has that. It's the thing is, there's a lot fewer of them that ever get to the finish line with a lot of that stuff, and I think that's where it's important to kind of always look at that too, and what are you going to do? I mean, it doesn't even need to be that anything comes of it. Sometimes it's just the act of finishing it is rewarding, just to get to the end sometimes.
Yeah.
Something else that I really like to do is because a lot of this filming and stuff is new to me, but I'd like to collaborate on a project and submit it to different contests and stuff, and just be part of a project from start to finish. And because so far I've done a little bit here and I've done a little bit there, but I'd like to get in on it and just write it all the way through and then submit it to some of these different contests and stuff and see how far it goes and learn more about that kind of stuff.
Sure. No, I think that's awesome. One of my other things is the first screenplay I ever wrote, I wrote in college with my dad. It's called Dry Creek. Fun fact is, after college, I briefly owned my own business, and it was called Dry Creek Productions because of that. And then I folded because I shouldn't be a business owner. That is what I learned. But Dry Creek, the first script I ever wrote, it's been revised a couple of different times. It's actually been adapted into even a couple of different forms of media. Where I work, we used to run Deadwood Magazine, monthly magazine, kind of local stuff. And for a while, I actually had a monthly comic strip in it. That was Dry Creek. That was the story of Dry Creek from start to finish. We stopped doing the magazine before I finished actual Dry Creek. But I have that, which is cool. I have about 13 pages from that. And I even wrote a kind of quasi-sequel to it as a play that we performed in the high school. Allie was actually the lead in that one.
That was my freshman year.
Mm-hmm. Yep, called Minnesela it's kind of a quasi-sequel to Dry Creek. But that's a project. I've read things before where they tell you don't fall in love with your first project, because it's usually terrible. But but I'm not taking that advice on this one because I do think Dry Creek. I legitimately think Dry Creek is pretty good. I think it's a good story, and that's always something I've wanted to do. Honestly, I'd love someday to have Dirty Sprocket. Like, I'd love to make that movie. You know, it'd be hard because it's Western. So there's a lot of logistics that go into that, but you know, that's been a project that I've always kind of had on the back burner that I've always wanted to finish or do something with. There was actually, you know, and I don't know how close it actually came, but in college, it at least got put in front of some people to be turned into a TV movie when I was in college because of one of my teachers. Didn't end up happening, of course. So it would be with you losers. It'd be out in Hollywood. But yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how close it ever actually came. But somebody at least looked at it, which was kind of neat.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
If anything, it's a story, I guess. I have to tell.
If I ever have any influence in whatever place I'm working with film, I'll make sure to pitch it.
Good. We will do Dry Creek. Yeah. So does anybody else have any projects? Anything else you've always wanted to kind of do? Okay.
I've actually got tons. I mean, we can sit here all night and talk about the things I'd like to do.
Sure. Well, I think the last thing I want to talk about tonight before we're done, and this is to us as our panel on the docket, but I think to our viewers as well that are watching, and even to our other Sprocketeers, is we're talking about these things we really want to do. You know, and honestly, as we're talking about them, all of these things are doable. Not easily, but they're all doable. And I want to challenge my fellow panelists tonight that we take steps forward to actually finish some of these projects. You know, we always talk about, I think that's a thing that you see people a lot, that they always have these grand ideas and they never do anything with them. And sometimes people seem sad about that, you know? They're always like, oh, if I could ever get the time, I would do this, you know, but I got work, or I got kids, or I got school, or, you know, all of the myriad of different good, you know, they're good excuses, they're legitimate stuff, but I think there's something to be said in finishing things sometimes, and so I know I started to work on character concepts and page layouts for my comic, my graphic novel, but I would encourage all of us to kind of find a way to at least take steps moving forward with some of these ideas we're talking about, which ties in nicely to what Dirty Sprocket is. Since we've relaunched Dirty Sprocket in August, we're becoming more of a larger group. It used to only be about 6 of us. It was Dirty Sprocket really in the past, and now I don't even know at last count. There's like 20-some people, 25 people that are involved in some facet in Dirty Sprocket. But a lot of it is we're trying to push each other to give each other help to do these things. If somebody can't do it on their own, there's other people linked up that can help do it, but also kind of to be a community to encourage each other to finish these things, because I think sometimes that's what you need. You need a cheerleader or somebody to hold you accountable sometimes to say, hey, how's this coming? Have you gotten anything written or anything drawn, or, how's it happen? And I think that's good, and that's what I want Dirty Sprocket to be. So,
honestly, Dirty Sprocket is that for me because since I'm more interested in film acting, but I never before Dirty Sprocket had a way to do it at all. I mean, we're in the middle of South Dakota. So, I mean, and it's so different. Like, Friend was such a learning experience for me, and like I look back on that and I'm like, oh, I can act better than that. And then, but it's true though. It helped me so much realize how different it is and what I need to work on. And now my goal is every time we do a short film that I'm in to make my film acting better and better, so that maybe someday it is good enough that I could be Suze.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, film acting and stage acting are completely
different. I mean, they have like a lot of the same basic character work and stuff, but it is really different in a lot of ways.
Well, too, though, doing these short films and stuff like we're doing, I mean, that's kind of building a resume up for you too, isn't it, Allie? I mean,
Oh yeah, I put
I don't know how that stuff works, but I would assume that. I mean, I've heard of video resumes and stuff, so.
Well, yeah, on my acting resume, I have, I have things that I've been in. I have stage productions, and then I have film productions, and I mean, I have 2 things on it. So, well, only one right now because I'm not going to put Unknown Caller on there until it's actually out.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I can put those in, and people. It's an easy way for people to like access me as an actor. And when I work on making my own website, I mean, I'm sure I can probably fit that in somehow as well. And yeah, so basically it's just an incredibly helpful tool. And the biggest thing for me is just learning how to act on film because I need practice. That's all there is to it. I can't just expect to know how to do it. I never did, but I don't know. Yeah.
Cool. Well, and even there, Sarah, where you're talking about that you want to do some more film acting and stuff, we need to get you in a Dirty Sprocket short here.
Yeah. Sounds fun.
Help you do that. And Robert, just need to come up with a concept. We'll take it all the way through. Well, we've kind of got your podcast idea that you want to do, but yeah. Yeah, I want to encourage each other. And some of the Sprocketeers who aren't on tonight that all have, I've had about 4 or 5 different people send me scripts of stuff they'd love to make of shorts, which I was talking to Jake the other day, is figuring out how we're going to do them, but I want to do them. It's logistically kind of figuring out how it's going to happen. But yeah, we want to be that. We want to help each other out, make stuff. I feel lucky, that, I mean, so far the stuff that Dirty Sprocket has done has all been stuff I've written, which I'm very grateful for, that I get a chance to write some stuff and we get to make it, and I have great people around me who help me do some of these crazy ideas. But I wanted to, to branch out from there where, we could do Robert's crazy idea or Allie's crazy idea or Sarah's crazy idea, to keep, to make these things so we can all have these things. Who knows, maybe someday Dirty Sprocket hits it big, maybe we could all be doing this full time or something. It'd be kind of neat.
Pretty cool. Don't forget, you can send things to me to edit, too. I don't mind. I like editing.
There you go, Allie.
All right, cool. I got a novel coming your way.
Oh, wait. That's good. That's fine.
About 200 pages.
Wow.
Nice.
Go.
So, yeah,
I mean, obviously, I couldn't just sit down and do all of that at once, but I can do it in pieces. 2 chapters. That'd be cool. I like editing. It's fun.
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't either. I hate editing. My grammar not good. So. But yeah. So yeah, that was kind of our this is our uplifting docket where we get to talk about things we're passionate about.
Uplifting.
Well, for us, less so.
The tall guy got shot down by the short people.
It's a good thing I got Kleenex with potion. There'd be a good cry coming on later. I'm a sensitive being. I'm an artist, and this stuff really weighs down on my creative processes.
No, you need those emotions flowing.
Yeah, use those. Harness that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write a short movie about people.
Do it. We will make it.
Who clearly doesn't deserve it.
We will make it. It'll be terrible. So, yeah. Any last thoughts from anybody before we wrap up for the evening?
No.
One last thing I forgot to announce then before we're done. If you live local in the Black Hills area of South Dakota, because we do have some viewers outside of the area, which is neat. But if you happen to be local, the end of the last weekend in February and the first weekend in March, the Lead Historic Opera House, they are doing a play called Honeymoon on the Rusted Rail that I actually co-wrote a couple of years ago, and we performed at the Belle Fourche Community Theater. And all of us on here tonight were on stage for that show. We were all actors in it. But the Lead Opera House is doing it. They're performing it as well. So I'm excited. It'll be the first time that there's ever been something that I at least partially wrote that I wasn't involved in making. And I'm excited, too, to see somebody else play the part I played. And I think everybody's kind of excited about that. As far as community theater people involved in that, we're all going down, or as many people as we can, to go see it. It should be a lot of fun. But if you happen to be in the area, check that out. It should be a really good time. Excited to see it.
Hey, while we're on that note,
Mm-hmm.
The sequel to that play is going to be later this August. Monty is writing, and Sarah and myself would get to head that one up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited about that too.
Yeah, and that'll be through the Belfouche Community Theater. I'm sure we'll be talking more about that as that gets closer. I think we're all pretty. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Represent.
Oh, he's got the shirt. So yeah, so lots of exciting stuff. We got a lot of exciting Dirty Sprocket stuff. We got a lot of exciting stuff outside of that even going on. We're crazy busy, but so yeah, keep checking back. Check us out the next time we have a docket. Check out our new podcast, The Millennials. Blog posts 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Dockets a couple times a month. More podcasts coming, more video projects coming. So please, if you enjoy, comment. If you enjoyed this, what's your dream project? Let us know. Heck, even if there's a way we can give you a hand with it. I'm sure there's somebody interested.
If a lot of people respond to this and like put comments about their dream projects and stuff, I would write a post on it, kind of wrapping everything up. Maybe.
There you go. I love it. My response to people always is write a post about it.
Do it.
So yeah, I would if you guys want to write a lot of comments and stuff, and then maybe just you can like give me permission to put it into the post. If we get a lot of responses, I will find some sort of underlying theme and write a post about it.
I love it. Do that. Comment.
High five, Allie. Whoa.
Internet.
Oh, virtual high five. That's so silly.
Robert.
We're men. We gotta do a fist bump.
Oh no! It took it away.
Would you?
Too slow.
You killed me.
Okay, for real.
I'm a little sad.
You love your myself.
That was a sad fist bump.
All right, with that, I think we're gonna call it a night before Sarah dies. So thank you all for watching. Keep updated. Lots of cool shit coming. And we'll see you next time on the docket.
Bye.
Bye.